Most people will not realize their kitchen has a serious weakness until the exact moment grocery shelves begin looking different. Prices suddenly jump overnight, or basic supplies start disappearing faster than stores can replace them. That is a dangerous reality many families experience during recent years when transportation delays, inflation, severe weather, and unexpected buying surges expose how fragile everyday food systems can become under pressure. And here is the part most people still ignore. Experts continue warning that global supply chains remain vulnerable heading into 2026 because fuel costs, fertilizer shortages, extreme climate events, and shipping disruptions are still affecting food production around the world. Before we go further, comment below and tell everyone which food you believe every family should always keep stored, because your advice could genuinely help someone prepare smarter before problems start affecting normal life. The truth is simple. Families who prepare early almost always spend less money, avoid panic, and maintain more control during uncertain situations. One of the first food-smart households are quietly stockpiling before May 25th. 2026 is white rice, because few foods match its long shelf life, affordability, and versatility. Properly stored white rice can remain usable for decades while providing the foundation for countless meals during emergencies, financial hardship, or temporary supply disruptions. Rice stretches ingredients further, keeps meals filling, and works with beans, canned meats, vegetables, soups, and spices without requiring complicated cooking methods. The second food many experienced preppers prioritize is canned beans, because protein becomes one of the fastest disappearing categories when stores face shortages or panic buying. Black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, and pinto beans provide important nutrients, fiber, and calories while lasting for years without refrigeration. Beans are also budget-friendly, allowing families to build larger reserves without spending extreme amounts of money all at once. Another essential food gaining attention across preparedness communities is canned fish, including tuna, sardines, salmon, and mackerel, because shelf-stable protein sources become incredibly valuable during uncertain times. Canned fish provides energy, important fats, and nutrition, while remaining ready to eat straight from the container if cooking becomes difficult during outages or emergencies. The next critical item is flour, because many people underestimate how quickly bread and baked goods disappear during stressful situations. Flour gives families the ability to make tortillas, bread, pancakes, biscuits, and other comfort foods using simple pantry ingredients. It also creates flexibility when stores limit purchases or processed foods become more expensive than normal. Another item quietly becoming more important is cooking oil, because calories matter significantly during emergencies, and oils help transform basic ingredients into satisfying meals. Vegetable oil, olive oil, and canola oil support cooking, baking, and food preparation, while helping households avoid relying entirely on expensive packaged meals. Powdered milk is another highly recommended staple, because fresh dairy products spoil quickly during power outages or transportation problems. Powdered milk works for baking, coffee, cooking, and children's nutrition, while storing far longer than refrigerated products. Pasta also remains one of the smartest foods to keep stocked, because it cooks quickly, stores easily, and combines with nearly any ingredient available in the pantry. During stressful situations, people naturally crave familiar meals, and pasta helps maintain morale while stretching limited resources much further. Another food experts constantly recommend is canned meat, including chicken, turkey, roast beef, and Spam-style products, because reliable protein reserves help families maintain stable nutrition when fresh meat becomes unavailable or unaffordable. Oats are another powerful storage food, because oatmeal remains one of the cheapest and most filling breakfast options available, while also supporting baking and emergency meal preparation. Peanut butter is also considered extremely valuable due to its calorie density, convenience, and ability to provide both protein and comfort during uncertain periods. Many households especially prioritize peanut butter, because children accept it easily when meal options become repetitive. Salt may seem ordinary, but experienced survival planners understand that salt supports food preservation, cooking, hydration balance, and flavor improvement far beyond simple seasoning. Finally, the most important item every family should prioritize before May 25th, 2026, is water, because even the best food stockpile becomes useless without clean water available for drinking, cooking, and sanitation. Most experts recommend storing enough water for several days minimum, because supply interruptions can happen faster than people expect during storms, infrastructure failures, or regional emergencies. The reality is not about fear or panic. It is about recognizing how quickly normal routines can change when systems people depend on every day suddenly become unstable. One of the biggest mistakes people make when preparing for uncertain times is believing emergency food storage requires huge amounts of money or expensive survival kits, when in reality the strongest pantry systems are usually built slowly using ordinary grocery store foods families already understand and regularly consume. Smart preparation is not about panic buying everything at once. It is about recognizing patterns before shortages become obvious to everyone else. Over the past few years, millions of people watched basic groceries suddenly become harder to find while prices climbed faster than expected. Eggs, meat, dairy products, bread, and cooking oils all experienced periods of instability that caught many households completely unprepared. What shocked people most was not only the price increases, but how quickly store shelves could look different after transportation delays, severe weather, labor shortages, or unexpected buying surges. Many grocery stores today operate with lean inventory systems, meaning products move rapidly from trucks directly onto shelves instead of remaining stored in large backroom reserves. This creates efficiency during normal conditions, but also increases vulnerability during disruptions because even short delays can empty shelves faster than people realize. That is exactly why experienced preparedness communities focus heavily on foods with long shelf lives and practical everyday use. Dry beans remain one of the most valuable examples because they provide affordable protein while storing for years when protected from moisture and pests. Lentils are another overlooked powerhouse because they cook faster than most beans and contain nutrients that support energy and balance meals during stressful periods. Another food becoming increasingly popular among families preparing for 2026 is canned soup because it combines convenience, hydration, calories, and comfort in one product. Soup becomes especially important during emergencies when stress levels rise, and simple warm meals help maintain emotional stability inside households. Many people are also adding honey to their storage plans because properly sealed honey can remain usable for extremely long periods while serving as both a sweetener and emergency calorie source. Unlike processed desserts that spoil quickly, honey provides flexibility for cooking, baking, tea, and quick energy during difficult situations. Another growing trend involves storing instant coffee and tea because maintaining familiar daily routines becomes psychologically important during unstable conditions. Something as small as a warm cup of coffee can improve morale and reduce stress when normal life feels disrupted. Canned vegetables also deserve far more attention than they usually receive because many people focus entirely on calories while forgetting nutritional balance matters during extended disruptions. Corn, carrots, peas, spinach, tomatoes, and green beans help create meals that feel complete rather than repetitive survival rations. Spices are another category people dangerously underestimate until they begin eating the same bland foods repeatedly. Garlic powder, chili powder, black pepper, paprika, oregano, and Italian seasoning can completely transform simple rice or beans into meals families actually enjoy eating. Food fatigue becomes a real problem when people lose appetite due to repetitive meals, which is why flavor variety matters more than many beginners realize. Another important lesson experienced families understand is the value of food rotation. Instead of buying products that sit untouched for years, they regularly use and replace stored foods as part of normal life. This reduces waste, saves money, and ensures supplies remain fresh and practical when truly needed. Financial preparation also plays a major role because shortages do not always mean stores become completely empty. Sometimes products remain available while prices rise so dramatically that households struggle to maintain normal grocery routines. Inflation itself can become a form of food insecurity for families living paycheck to paycheck. Having even a modest pantry reserve creates breathing room during periods when budgets suddenly tighten. Another concern experts continue discussing heading into 2026 involves transportation and fuel costs because food systems depend heavily on constant movement across long distances. Problems affecting trucking, shipping routes, fertilizer production, or fuel availability can eventually impact local grocery prices and availability even if people do not immediately notice the connection. This is why smart preparation focuses less on fear and more on reducing dependence on fragile systems whenever possible. Freezers may help temporarily, but power outages can quickly expose how dependent modern households are on electricity and refrigeration. Shelf-stable foods provide security because they remain available even during outages or temporary infrastructure failures. The goal is not extreme survivals or isolation from society. The goal is creating stability, confidence, and flexibility when normal systems experience temporary stress or disruption. As May 25th, 2026 gets closer, more families are beginning to understand that food preparation is not about expecting disaster every single day. It is about reducing stress and protecting stability when life suddenly becomes unpredictable. The people who stay calm during shortages, severe weather, rising prices, or temporary supply disruptions are usually not the wealthiest families. They're the families who prepared quietly before everyone else realized there was a problem. One of the smartest strategies experienced households use is building a layered pantry instead of relying on one massive emergency purchase. They keep short-term foods for everyday rotation, medium-term foods for temporary disruptions, and long-term staples for situations where recovery takes longer than expected. This balanced approach prevents waste while making preparation affordable and practical for ordinary families. Another major mistake many beginners make is storing foods they never actually eat. Real preparedness works best when households focus on foods already part of their normal routines, because during stressful situations, familiar meals help maintain comfort and emotional stability. Children especially struggle when routines disappear, which is why simple familiar foods like pasta, peanut butter, oats, rice, soup, and canned fruit become more valuable than people realize. Another important lesson experts constantly repeat is that food storage means very little if households cannot prepare meals during outages or infrastructure problems. Many experienced families now keep manual can openers, portable cooking stoves, backup fuel, matches, and basic cooking tools because modern kitchens depend heavily on electricity. A pantry full of food becomes useless if families cannot safely cook or access what they stored. Water preparation also continues growing in importance because dehydration becomes dangerous much faster than hunger during emergencies. Most households underestimate how much water they actually use every single day for drinking, cooking, sanitation, cleaning, and food preparation. This is why many preparedness experts recommend storing extra water containers, filtration systems, purification tablets, and backup supplies long before they are needed. Another growing trend involves learning simple gardening skills because even small home gardens can provide valuable fresh foods during periods of rising grocery costs. People are not trying to become fully self-sufficient overnight, but many families now understand the importance of knowing how food is grown and how quickly grocery systems can become strained during large-scale disruptions. Community relationships also matter more than most people expect because neighborhoods that cooperate during difficult periods often recover faster and experience less panic. Preparation should create responsibility and awareness, not fear or isolation. One reason many families are paying closer attention before May 25th, 2026 is because recent years already exposed vulnerabilities in global supply systems that many people once believed were impossible. Severe droughts damaged crops in multiple regions. Fertilizer prices increased. Fuel costs affected transportation, and international conflicts disrupted shipping routes that move food products around the world. These problems may not always create immediate empty shelves, but they slowly increase pressure throughout the entire food system. Another important point many experts emphasize is avoiding misinformation and panic-driven rumors online, because exaggerated claims often lead people toward wasteful decisions or unnecessary fear. Smart preparation focuses on realistic risks supported by common sense rather than extreme predictions. Even small, consistent steps can create meaningful protection over time. Buying a few extra shelf-stable foods during normal shopping trips may not seem dramatic, but after several months, those small decisions can create a strong pantry reserve capable of supporting a family during difficult periods. Financial preparedness matters too, because emergencies rarely arrive alone. Rising food prices often happen alongside higher utility bills, transportation costs, insurance expenses, or medical emergencies that place additional pressure on household budgets. Having extra food stored creates flexibility when money suddenly becomes tight. No one can predict exactly what conditions will exist after May 25th, 2026. But history repeatedly proves that families who prepare before problems escalate usually experience far less panic than those rushing into crowded stores after shortages begin. The goal is not fear. The goal is stability, confidence, and resilience during uncertain moments when normal systems stop functioning smoothly. If this video helped you think differently about protecting your household and preparing smarter for the future, subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who still believes food shortages can never affect their area, because one conversation today could help another family stay calm, prepared, and protected tomorrow.